everyone, I'm Babs Butcher, and you're listening to The Butcher's Block. This is a podcast where I hang out with cosplayers and artists and talk about the secrets and insider's perspective of the creative community. We are in SFX Studios, and we're excited to be bringing you even more of The Butcher's Block. Tune in every Monday to hear a new episode available on SoundCloud, on Facebook, and soon to be on the Partynerdz YouTube. Make sure you're subscribed to the Partynerdz and to me, Babs Butcher, and to the guests that you'll meet on the show. We have a new combo of guests each time, and we'll have their handles listed in the captions wherever you're watching or listening, and on the screen if you're watching the video. All right, you've been listening to The Butcher's Block for about 5 episodes now, so you know the deal. The Partynerdz gave their blessing to this spin-off podcast. My name is Babs Butcher, and I like to lay it all out in the open right on my Butcher's Block. You want the reality of what it's like to be a cosplayer, a creator, or an entrepreneur in this wild west of the cosplay community? We'll give it to you straight because nobody else seems to want to. So, let's introduce our guests for the day. I am sandwiched between 2 gorgeous men. How lucky am I? We have Dom here. Dom, can you please say hi to everyone and let them know where's the best place to find you on social media?
Yeah, Dom Charlin, DOMCHARLN. DOMCHARLAND.
Yeah, and that's
at Instagram.
on Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram only. That's the real social media right there, right?
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, for all its
You can find me on MySpace or LiveJournal.
Deviant Art, FetLife. Okay, so we have Dom Charlin over here. Follow him on social media. And we have Nay on the other side of me. Let the people know where they can find you online, Nay.
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Cosplay Nay, Cosplay NAY. That's me.
Nice. So a little background on how I know these cosplay kings. Correct me if I'm wrong, but let me just. I want to see if you agree with my story.
Okay, here we go.
I started working with Nay last summer in collaboration with a group that likes to call themselves the Cosplay Outlaws. Yeah?
Continue.
Okay.
Continue.
And from there, I just kept on getting to know more and more people. Friends of friends, kept on collaborating with a lot of different artists out in New York, because that's where these two are from. You're from Long Island.
Long Island.
Long Island.
We stopped
And
for coffee
Brooklyn.
on the way.
Brooklyn.
And
You're
I'm pretty much the gum under their shoes. They can't get rid of me, much as Dom has tried. Did I get that right?
No, you
yeah,
got
I've
the
tried
gum
a
under
lot.
my
Oh,
shoe.
you're asking her. Oh, him. My bad.
Is that how it started?
You're not the gum under my shoe, but yes, that's how it came about.
Yes. We were doing a shoot actually at Nay's place and working with JS Cosplay Photog. Go follow him. And
You were recruited by Brooklyn Cap. No, excuse me. Call me Cap. Brooklyn Kid.
yes, Josh.
Yeah, he the one that scouted you out, and he brought you to my attention, and I said, get her.
Yes, exactly.
Get her.
Nay has he's very particular about working with cosplayers. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes.
Is that a professional way of
To
saying
some
he's
degree.
fucking picky? Is that what that is?
Oh,
Particular
shit.
mind metallic.
Hey,
So-
you got to be picky. You got to
So
be.
it was a
but
huge
I prefer
compliment.
selective.
Selective. That's the term we're going to use.
It was a
Yes.
huge compliment to start working with these wonderful people,
Thank
and to this day, they still want me around. I think maybe we might not be friends after this podcast, but it was good while it lasted.
We have our moments.
Okay, we're so excited because there's been an unbelievable amount of support and excitement over this podcast. Like we've only released, I think, 3 episodes so far, and people are coming out of the woodwork just saying, I can't believe this is finally happening. We're talking about stuff. We're bringing things out in the open. I'm really happy you're doing this. I have so many ideas. So I'm getting so many ideas and so much support from people in the community, photographers, cosplayers, just in general, artists. So I want to say thank you to everyone who's come forth and talked to me about this podcast, given their 2 cents, given advice, and let me know that they were inspired by what we've been talking about. So I want to encourage people, if you are inspired, if you have stories that pertain to the topics that we talk about on the podcast, please send me an email, babsbutcheremail@gmail.com. I want to hear your stories. And I want to be able in the future to feature them on this podcast. So you send me something. If you send me a dick pic, I will call the police.
Oh my god. For real though, that DM, how to respond to DMs podcast.
Yeah.
That's such a real thing that happens.
Oh, you get dick pics?
All the time. All the time. To the point where I actually had to block Nate for like a week because he wasn't getting the hint.
Man, who cares? I mean, fuck it. He's stuck.
All right. So we're going to do kind of what we did last time. The very first segment, we had it a little bit longer. So I want you guys to get to know these two incredible men. So this is going to be a little bit of a longer episode to intro and to kind of just talk things out and get our thoughts out there. But the first segment is it's interesting. It's how to date a cosplayer. So we've been talking about this for a while.
Don't.
And
Don't do it.
So we've been talking about this for a while. It was actually proposed by someone who watched or listened to this show. They said, "Can you please talk about how do I date a cosplayer?" And
Subscribe to their Patreon, right? That's the answer?
why do you say Patreon? I hate that.
Oh my god. It's the accent.
He's right.
Come on, really?
Oh, sorry about that. Somebody's
Let's
called
let her rig
Spider-Man.
Go take care of your shit. They're looking for their friendly
me,
neighbor,
pause this for a second.
Spider-Man.
Oh my god.
Okay.
That's business. That's business.
Oh my god. Couldn't even make it through one episode without having to get up from the table.
Okay.
All right, we'll get started.
So
We got a lot going on. We got that thing coming up.
That thing coming up in that place,
I
yeah.
have a lot going on.
We'll definitely clue you in on that thing when it gets closer to the date.
We got a lot going on.
Yes, we do. Okay. So how to date a cosplayer. It was a topic inspired by someone who actually listened to the show and said, I'm so glad that this is happening. I want to know how to date a cosplayer. My first reaction was exactly what Dom said. Don't. And maybe by the end of this segment, you're going to agree with me. I'm coming from two perspectives. From someone who is a cosplayer and wants to date another cosplayer, and from the perspective of someone who's not a cosplayer and wants to date a cosplayer. So my tips in general are going to be coming from that perspective because I know it's not just cosplayers that want to date cosplayers. I know people who don't cosplay look at these gorgeous pictures of cosplayers and think, "Ooh, yes, I want to get me a little bit of that."
Yeah, they fantasize.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And that's a big part of it. I get it. We have these gorgeous photos that come out. It looks
Perfectly tailored.
yeah. Especially the women, like we look like snacks, man. And that's largely because of so many different elements. Mostly the photographer who does a fantastic edit on us.
Right.
It's a fantasy.
Because up close, you might not. Up close in person is a huge difference between this far away on your cell phone after like 20 hours of edits.
Yes.
It's a much different
Exactly.
phenomenon.
Yeah, he should know.
So we
I seen him
look
on
good.
camera and I seen him in person.
Yeah.
We look good in those photographs, and it probably looks a lot of fun. You're looking at us having fun at a con. I get it. So I want to help you out. You want to know what it would be like to date a cosplayer. Let's give them the reality.
All right.
So I have 3 main points. The first one is maybe you don't know how to flirt with a cosplayer, or approach them because they're at a con and you don't know exactly how to talk to them. You don't want to seem like you're too much or not enough. I would say if you're approaching a cosplayer at a con, a lot of talk is not going to do you very good. I would just be respectful and come up and say, I love your cosplay, great job. Kill them with a smile, and make sure you have their contact information because then you can slide into those DMs. Watch the first episode of Butcher's Block to figure out
how to do that.
Yeah, how to do that. I give you some tips. So that's flirting with a cosplayer. The thing is, cosplayers are interacting with people all the time.
The problem is it's tough, right? Because how do you make yourself memorable in that moment? And honestly, you're not going to. You're going to come up, you're going to talk to them, and 10 minutes later, you're going to forget that you even spoke to that person because you've got so much going on. Because to Babs' point, it may look easy when the cosplayers out there doing their thing by the food trucks at New York Comic Con, just taking photos, but that took hours and days and weeks of work. And this is and stress. So now they're out there, they're on show. They got a smile on their face to being friendly because they want to support the culture and the fans, but they're not going to remember you, dude. So, like, it's best to do what Babs said, get the contact info, and then interact. Interact through comments on their pictures. I think is more important than the DMs in and of itself.
I
just
would
to get
say
it started, right?
not doing verbal vomit, like just coming up and being like, hey, great cosplay,
Yeah,
is
exactly.
going to actually leave
way
more
farther.
of an impression. Just being like chill and coming up just a few words and piecing out, that's going to leave more than an impression, more of an impression than, oh God, I love your cosplay.
Yeah, right. Like, just don't be thirsty about
Yeah.
it. You know, seriously.
Yeah,
Like,
be
just come up
cool.
and be like, yo, that's dope. I love your shit. I'm going to follow you. Here's my contact info. And then keep it moving.
Yep.
It's simple.
Keep it simple.
That's it.
Because
That makes
everyone else, like those dudes who play World of Warcraft in the basement on South Park, they come up on you and then you're just like, okay, all I remember is that you creep me out. Get away from me. Stop trying to get my body paint off
follow you
of
on
me.
everything.
I follow you on everything. I actually,
all your social media.
I try not to follow people on social media with huge followings until I meet them in person because I don't want to be labeled as one of those people.
Now,
I do the same thing actually. If a person has way too many followers, like I won't follow them.
Yeah.
Until we meet.
Until you meet. Yeah, because you don't want to seem like one of those fanboys.
I get lost. No, because I get lost in the sauce. I just they're not gonna know who I am, and you know, and I like to interact. So I don't want to be just on the bench.
Exactly.
so so that's flirting with a cosplayer. This is assuming that you're approaching them, whether you're a cosplayer or not a cosplayer, how to approach them at a con. But I do have to say, one really easy way, which I've actually heard from people at cons, they were like, oh my God, this one girl especially, she was like, I love this one cosplayer. He's so gorgeous. So I know what his lineup is. And I made
scouted him out?
Yeah, I made my cosplays coordinate with his. So,
That's creepy.
she, if she knew he was going to be the
super
Joker.
intelligent, but it is a little creepy.
It's absolutely creepy, but we're
respect the game right there.
telling you how to be a creep, okay? So she knew he was going to be a Joker when he's going to do a version of the Joker, so she did a similar version of Harley Quinn, and she made sure that it was on par with his. So like you don't have one that's better or way worse than his, and then she met up with him as Harley Quinn and took pictures. He was like, oh yeah, I got to get pictures with this Harley Quinn. And there's some pretty instant chemistry when you meet up with someone you meet someone at a con and they are on your level. They have a similar, like a coordinated cosplay.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And not just from a relationship point of view, but like I can't tell you how many friendships that I've made and networking that I've done just by, oh, wow, your cosplay coordinates with mine. Let's take some photos. And then you just continue to have that conversation. And then a year later, you're doing group shots. And maybe you're not in a relationship, but you have a great friendship.
Oh, that sounds like a very familiar story. Atlantic City.
Oh.
Yo.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But yeah, there's some pretty instant chemistry when you find someone that you can take some good pictures with.
Yeah, so that's a funny story. We met because we were both at Atlantic City. We knew each other online only through Facebook. But as a Spider-Man cosplayer with a full mask on and lenses,
And this was back before the Fog Free became like
yeah.
really popular.
So it's funny because we were both Spider-Man. We both saw each other, but couldn't really see because we had just come in from outside, right? And we were completely fogged up. So we took some photos together. We posted them a few days later, and I was like, "Oh shit, I met you."
Yeah,
at
I'm like,
AC.
I'm like, does anybody know who this cosplayer is? And then you comment,
I was like,
say,
yeah,
it's
that's
me,
me.
it's me. I'm like, all right, this fucking guy's being funny.
No, it really was me though. I posted the other
I
photo,
went
I was
to
like,
his page.
and that's
I
how
said,
we
"Let me
met.
see
You
this
know what I
guy."
mean?
Oh my
And
God,
again,
that's
Spider-Man
amazing.
After that, he
cosplayer.
just fucking started stalking me, and we became friends.
Yeah, I guess that's how it is. Is that what we're selling this week?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Well, that's
Your mom says
that, by the way.
that's adorable.
Your mom says
Let
that.
me know when the wedding is. So that's how you can make a connection. And there's some pretty instant chemistry, as you can see. I mean, it's heating up in here. How to date a cosplayer. So the meat of the meat of this. I want to give a warning I want to give a warning. Connections in the creative world are high octane and fleeting. And what I mean by that is you love intensely and then the con's over and you go fuck off and do your own thing and I get it. It feels awful to be like so close with someone and so like vibing with someone. Cheers.
Cheers.
Vibing with someone, and then you don't see them.
Continue.
You don't see them for a couple months. You got to be okay with that because that's the creative community. We love intensely and then we fuck off. So don't get too invested if you're trying to date someone and then you don't
Hear from them?
you don't hear
hear
from
from
them, or something happens where you're not sure if they're into you.
Where they pick it and quit it?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any warnings for people who are looking to date a cosplayer?
Yeah. So when you're dating a cosplayer, right? So they're dressing up as a superhero, right? So
Mhm.
I would say you got to be aware of
Mhm.
what I would call that Peter Parker factor, right?
The
So
understanding.
cosplayers, as I clean the table before the guy who owns the studio comes back and sees his corona everywhere.
Sorry, Deb.
No, don't say it
SFX
now.
Studios.
So cosplayers balance work, school, family, all their muggle responsibilities, if you want to call it that, right? They're trying to balance all this in their normal life, making that money, family commitments, and at the end of the day, at night, they dress up as a superhero and they go prowl the streets and take photos and do whatever. So if you're gonna date Peter Parker, you better be ready to be Mary Jane.
I love that.
So you got to be ready that there's gonna be times where they're not around, they're not available. And you just have to kind of respect their time, right? So as cosplayers, we try to balance our time appropriately, and we are not good at it. The majority of us are not good at it. So you got to respect the time that we have and that we don't have. Don't assume that we're free or we have nothing to do. Like, if you're trying to date a cosplayer and you're like, I'm going to come up with this great plan. I'm going to make dinner reservations. I'm going to take them out, blah, blah, blah. I know they're off on Friday. You might show up. You might show up, and I might have, like, hot glue all over me, foam all over the apartment, a
little high from the contacts.
Oh my God, yeah, I might have a rebreather on, covered in paint. Like, oh, I came to take you on a date. Well, bitch, you better get in here and start cutting foam because, like, I don't have time to go we're gonna order some pizza, and that's gonna be the end of it. So sometimes we have a timetable in our head to keep us from going nuts, and then if you kind of assume that time is fluid or flexible, you may be all right. I have this build that's gonna take me 7 days, but I have 7 days, so I'm fine. All of a sudden, that person comes in trying to do whatever, and I might feel obligated. All right, well, they took the time. Let me go in. And now I'm con crunching, and now I hate you. Now I resent you. And after the con, I'm going to be exhausted. I'm not going to call you back because, remember that time I was trying to build whatever?
So basically what he's saying is that, in a nutshell, is that it's very important that you communicate.
Absolutely.
No surprises.
Yeah.
No surprises because that can backfire. And that can actually bring that relationship or that
potential relationship,
that connection,
or that connection to a halt, because, I'll say women, a lot of women, or most women, require a lot of attention, and they damn sure do, and they want that attention, but a lot of cosplayers, more so us men, we're workaholics, man. We're workaholics, and,
but okay. Cosplay men need that attention too, and so then you're both okay. So that's gonna be that's another.
It's gonna clash.
Yeah,
it's gonna clash
because
that goes back to what
you
were
like
saying about
like a whole nother episode.
You don't date a cosplayer, but I don't want to say you don't date a cosplayer, but you have to have a lot of patience.
Yeah, what I would say is
when dating a cosplayer,
don't force yourself to be included in it, right?
Especially if that other party does not understand the cosplay scene,
what the struggle is like,
right?
Yeah,
because they see the fantasy. All right, my boyfriend is like Spider-Man, or he's Superman, or he's Batman. So that's that fantasy. They're in love with that fantasy, and not understanding the time that goes into doing that stuff.
The reality of it.
So, yeah. So that's just my take on it.
You had another thing. It essentially was that quality time.
So just being there for me is enough, right? So like I'm not a fancy person, so I enjoy time at home on the couch together. You know what I mean? Like Netflix and chill, but like actually Netflix and chill, like just hanging out is good enough if you have that bond, if you have that but also. But I don't need you to come over and help me paint or sew or.
I mean, that would be helpful.
It would be helpful if you're good at it, yeah, absolutely. But like we can hang out and watch TV and craft and spend time. Like you can come over, sit on the couch, watch TV with me while I'm sitting on the floor doing whatever, puff paint and whatever. I mean, how long did it take you to puff paint $20.99. It took you months, right?
Like 9 months.
Like 9 months. So like,
9 months.
if you're cool with sitting down and hanging out with me eating pizza while I'm crafting a fusion reactor, then just come and do that. But don't try to maybe force your way in or kind of become part of it if you really aren't into it. Just to, it's enough to be interested in me, not to be interested in my hobbies. You know what I'm saying? But just, it's okay
That's
just
a
to be
gift
there.
and a curse.
Yeah, that's true.
In my opinion, it's a gift and a curse because, when you're around someone for so long, you just happen to naturally adopt those
Interests.
how you say that? Yeah. Interests.
Or you would hope that they do.
So, it's and I don't want to disagree
number one,
with you.
be cool with cosplay.
But I do agree with you, but I don't disagree with you, if that makes sense. Like, all right, because he or she, may adopt those interests, and they want to be a part of that, for the sake of their partner, or for the sake of
their relationship.
This looks fun.
Yeah.
I want to try it out. Maybe I can get into it. And it goes both ways. So, I would say give it a chance, and that just goes back again to being patient and being tolerant, and communication and being understanding of each other. So you gotta try to balance that out, and it's not easy. It's not easy at all.
It's not easy. I would say
it's very challenging.
The top flaws. We're aware of our flaws, and if you're a cool person, you own them. If you're a cosplayer, those flaws we are always late.
Yes.
Always.
Always late.
A wizard arrives exactly when he intends to.
We're always late. I wrote self-focused. What I meant was we're self-obsessed at some points.
We have blinders on perpetually.
We're self-deprecating. So on one hand, we're like obsessed with ourselves and our image, and then we think we're garbage.
Oh yeah, hot trash.
Hot trash.
I think my Instagram says Dom
Should be our
Charlin,
worst
terrible
enemy.
cosplayer on it. Actually, right now.
I mean, your own worst critic. You know what I mean? It's just
we have high
This is not good.
anxiety, ebbs and flows of energy. A lot of us are dealing with anxiety and depression. We love intensely. We're absent for days. We're bizarre. We're quirky.
Yes.
We're mercurial and oblivious.
vocabulary words.
At the very least, pad 30 minutes of travel time when you're dating us.
Yeah, have you ever heard of CPT? Cosplayer People Time?
Yeah. Good save. 'Cause I was
All
coming
right,
for
you heard it here first. CPT.
I was coming for you.
Or
So-
just cosplayer time, I guess, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
there's a lot of
I would hope
flaws.
so.
There's a lot
All
of
I'm saying, there's a lot. All right, so New York Comic Con, everyone wants to get there at 10 a.m., right?
Colonize the people time.
Everyone wants to get there at 10 a.m. No one shows up to 12:30. 12:30, 1 o'clock. It's like, where are you? I am still in the hotel. My whole costume fell apart. I'm gluing things on right now, and I'm going to catch an Uber.
I'm questioning my life
I'm
decisions.
questioning my life decisions. How long did it take you to put on that makeup for a Colossus? Like 8 years, right? So
Actually, with each time that I do it, it's faster and faster. I would say the makeup for Colossus is 30 minutes. Getting into the costume and realizing that the stitching on the left-hand side all
I was
popped.
gonna say about that. Like after you get dressed, you're just standing there like, does this look good? This is not good.
how many times
Yeah.
did it take you?
This is coming apart. This needs to be fixed.
How-
I don't like this. I gotta find a way to hide this.
How
Okay,
often
that's
do you have
Nay,
to,
though. That's
How
Nay.
often do you have to, and this is a Spider-Man cosplayer problem, how often do you have to fix your lenses before you get started?
Oh my gosh, man! You gotta adjust the mask. You
Make sure
gotta.
the-
you
There's
gotta
a
adjust
wrinkle
the
right
lenses.
here.
You gotta make sure it's centered. You gotta make sure that your the eye holes aren't like
There's
on your
nothing worse than a
eyebrows.
Spider-Man where the center of the mask is on their
So-
forehead up here. Like,
Okay, and a
Yeah.
Spider-Man where his lenses are wonky is actually a frightening sight.
Yeah.
Or when he takes
Takes
or
them
when
off?
he or
Yeah.
she takes
Pretty
their
bad.
lenses off. Ah! It's so scary. So here, I guess all in all of our points are saying there's a reality. There's us behind the curtain. You have to be okay with that, and it's not pretty. It's not the beautiful, photoshopped, edited, gorgeous pic that you're seeing on your phone. We are messy and we are awful. Don't date us if you want to live, if you want to survive.
Don't date us if you want a lot of attention.
Yeah.
yeah,
We can't give you that quality time when you want it, or
Mhm.
which
you
is
know,
why I think it's
hardly ever.
important
But,
to
okay.
come and be part of that quality time.
So I don't want to end this on a bad note.
We're not selfish.
I
We're
want
just focused.
I want to ask you, what are the best things about dating a cosplayer?
You get a lot of different personalities. All in one.
What are you trying to say?
you a
Like your
Bruce
girlfriend
Wayne,
can
you
wear
get
8
you a
different
Clark
wigs so
Kent.
you can pretend it's someone else every time?
Yeah.
Oh, that is true. Actually, I some people are like, "Hey, can you when I was Gamora,
Oh my God.
they were like, "Can you keep the green makeup on?"
But that goes back to what we said about the fantasies.
That,
you know?
Exactly, but that's
what
where
they see. They
it almost
fantasize about that.
dehumanizes you, and I think that's the key here is that if you're gonna date a cosplayer, they are human,
Mhm.
so don't assume perfection, don't assume that
Uh,
just because it looks fantastic in
some-
front.
But in that moment when they are in their cosplay and they're looking amazing, that's what you should be living for.
yeah,
That's
well,
that's
yeah. Like, 'cause
they're
after we
gonna-
suit up. We're a totally different person. Like
Yeah.
we're
Now,
in character. We're
like-
in
To
the zone.
to answer Babs' question though about the benefits of dating a cosplayer, I mean potentially you can come up with some great collaborations, some great work. You got someone else that understands the craft that can give you feedback that won't offend you.
yes.
Because it's really easy to offend someone that's a cosplayer after they put all this work in. Because
Yep.
they'd be like, "Oh man, you got a wrinkle right here.
Mhm.
Do you know how long it took me to? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm trash. I'm gonna go kill
Mm.
myself
Yeah.
now. Like,
yeah.
so having a cosplayer as a significant other, they would know how to hopefully appropriately address it in a way that's not going to make you want to like stop doing it. I would think.
And they're going to empathize with issues with anxiety. They're going to empathize with issues of self-confidence. They've been to hell and back when it comes to self-confidence. And if that's something that you struggle with, you're going to have that in common, and you're going to have someone who's working on it with you. So that is another benefit too.
Yeah, 100%.
Nay, what do you think is your advice to someone who's crushing on a cosplayer? Should they actually go for it?
Well, different strokes for different folks.
Okay.
Honestly, everybody has a different approach. I can't really speak for everybody in the sense that some people are more conservative when they approach somebody and they have an interest. You got people that can't talk to other people directly. Hence the reason for the inbox or the DMs. And then you got people that's just straightforward, with like, hey, I think you're pretty dope. I want to get to know you better. Is it possible? And who's not afraid of rejection. I'm somebody that can that's very, very straightforward. I'm direct, so it's like, all right, it's either yes or no. It's all 50-50. You know what I mean? So, and then you got people again that's just that just can't do that. That just can't do that. So yeah, I mean,
we don't want to burst your bubble, but I mean that's kind of what we do on this podcast. We're
Well, it's the
bursting the
reality.
bubble.
It's
the reality.
but at the end of the day, though, and I'm sorry to cut you off,
No, you're good.
you can still get that rejection in the inbox or the DM. You know what I mean?
But
So
shoot your shot.
I mean, why not
Yeah.
shoot your
Be
shot?
direct.
Shoot your shot.
Shoot your shot. You know what I mean? Because you never know. Maybe that person has that same interest and has that fear of talking to you as well. But you won't know until you take your shot.
Oh yeah. I think I actually I might. Oh, okay. This is my last thing. And I'd like to wrap it up after this.
Okay.
If you break up or you get rejected, be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be cool,
Absolutely.
guy or girl.
Absolutely.
Imagine. This is actually really good advice for really any topic that we have. Imagine that the cosplay world is your workplace and you dated someone secretly, or you talked to someone
Or
secretly in
didn't
a romantic
advertise it.
way,
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
and you did not tell HR. Okay? Don't make it awkward for everyone else by being a bum, by having hurt feelings and being emotional about it. Because you know what's going to happen? If you have any friends in the con community and then you aren't cool about a breakup or a rejection, you're not going to get invited. You're not going to get invited to be a part of a group cosplay. People aren't going to want to go to a con with you. They're not going to want to go to after con events with you. If you make things awkward, then nobody's going to want to hang out with you. This is all a huge community that we're all having fun together. That's what it is, first and foremost. So be cool if it doesn't work out.
Yeah, I would say, and Nay, you can piggyback off because I know as someone who has helped to organize really large shoots, right? There's nothing worse than having that roster on the board
Bro.
and then you got to worry about.
Let me cut you off for 2
Yeah,
seconds.
you go ahead. Go ahead.
Before you get into that, oh my God.
That is a huge thing.
I got to cut him off in the sense that, me and Dom organize a lot of group shoots. A lot. Just to throw it out there, I'm front and center. Dom is behind the scenes. He's always helping me out. You know what I mean? He's always there. But when I'm organizing these shoots, I'm getting lots of inboxes or DMs, phone calls, text messages, even emails. Oh, don't add so-and-so. Oh, I don't want to work with so-and-so. And so-and-so this and so-and-so is that. And now they make their problem my problem, which makes it our problem. And it's not fair to us because now you put us in an awkward position to where we got to pick and choose. And it's not fair to us.
Yeah, and we have to sacrifice maybe our vision or our passion because of something that... Now, and again, it's none of our business. So, like, if you have a messy breakup and it's her fault, let's say, well, I don't care whose fault it is. All I know is that now I got to try and work around you. So 9 times out of 10, I'm going to cut you loose because it's not worth the drama.
So we're it's so unfair because we're talking about two different things. We're talking about this being a fun place, a playground of sorts, but then we're also calling it a workplace. You have to be professional. So, you can shit where you eat if you'd like to, but just be cool. Like if you're going to date someone that is in your hobby community, you have to treat your hobby community a little bit more like a workplace. And I'm sorry to say that. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but you're going to have to be professional or at least discreet.
Yes. Yes, that's
Discretion
very important.
is I think
It's
the
very
most important
because
thing.
at the end of the day,
Don't put
man,
your
we're all
business out
adults
there.
here,
Yeah.
and I don't feel like people that's
we're
not
all
involved-
adults being children.
Yeah, at heart,
At heart.
But I mean, the reality of it is that we're all adults, and it's not fair to us that you make your problem our problem, especially when we don't know what's going on or what happened or whatever.
Well, more importantly, don't care. It has nothing to do with
Yes,
us.
yes, we don't care. We don't care. So
That was something that Nikki and I talked about. There's so many times we just want to be like, I don't give a fuck.
and like, you know what's crazy? Because there's been situations where we're like, I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a
I
fuck.
just need you two to work in the same environment. You don't have to talk to each other. I'll have you on the left. I'll have you on the right. Let's get this done. This is the focus. This is the goal. This is what it can be.
But I want to say
people
though,
don't see that.
if someone else is making you, if you're not being awkward, if you're being discreet and you're doing everything right, props to you. We appreciate
100%.
you. That it just takes one person to make it awkward and awful.
I can tell you of a specific example of a shoot that we're working through right now where someone came to me and said, I don't want to be excluded from the shoot. I'm good with it. I just want to let you know I had a situation with this person who's also in the shoot.
Yeah.
I'm good. If they say something to me, though, I want to put it out there. And I was so appreciative. I'm like, thank you for letting me know.
Yes.
It's none of my business, but I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So now I can be aware during the course of the shoot to keep an eye out for certain signals.
And
keep them on certain sides of the field.
Exactly.
I want to talk about this. I don't have a specific segment planned yet, but I want to talk about the predatory people in the cosplay community that has been a huge problem in the last couple of years that I've known.
Yeah, I think it seems in the past 12 months it's gotten even worse.
Worse.
But that's a whole nother episode.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to
Yeah.
need a lot more beer and a lot more. We're going to have to have a guy with a censoring tone over here.
Yes. Okay, so I want to wrap this up. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. We have Nay over here. We have Dom over here. Nate, tell everybody your social media handle again.
Cosplay Nay. That's Cosplay NAY.
And Dom Charland, DOMCHARLAND.
Nailed it.
Both on Instagram.
Love it. Okay, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We love coming here and giving you this content and speaking our minds. If you have any stories or any advice for people who want to date a cosplayer or had like a terrible or fantastic experience dating a cosplayer, shoot me an email, babsbutcheremail@gmail.com. I want to hear your stories and I want to feature them. I want that to be a thing. So shoot me an email if you can. Yeah. Thank you again. And this is the Butcher's Block, everybody. Talk to you next time.